Oh, hey there. Hey, Jason.
Hey, Jimmy. There's always something new to learn. And here in Rogue Kitchen, we learn by playing with our food.
And alcohol.
And alcohol. And we are just a couple of fun guys, because today we are doing mushrooms. That's right. We are playing with all kinds of mushrooms.
Let's not say we're doing mushrooms.
So
we're consuming mushrooms.
we are, yes, we're, what?
Never mind. Mushroom risotto.
We're doing mushroom risotto. Yes, we are eating mushrooms. We are not doing mushrooms. Yes, eating mushrooms. We have some local mushrooms here from, what's the name of the?
Hazeldale Farms.
Hazeldale Farms. Thank you very much. I always think of Henry Dahl or Hazel Dahl or something like that. But anyway, Hazeldale Farms up in Longmont area there. We got some mushrooms from them. These are beautiful mushrooms. These things are so tasty. Then we've got some of these bigger mushrooms back here, or over here, and these things are like big. Steve, can you get a little shot over here on this side camera here? These are like really big. So we're gonna take these and we're gonna sear these guys up so they're like little scallops. All right, and we're gonna serve this with our risotto today. So yeah, and then we just take the tops of them there, and we're gonna slice these guys up.
We're gonna use the stems for the scallops and then the caps for just to cut them up and put them in the risotto.
That's exactly right. Yep,
Nicely
that's
done.
exactly right. Yeah. So mainly the main thing about today's show really is all about cooking mushrooms, right? We have like 4 different types of mushrooms here, and I don't think we've ever cooked risotto on.
I don't think we have done risotto.
I don't think we have done risotto. So it's one of my favorite dishes. Takes a little while to make. In fact, Miss Webb, we've got some going on back over here there, but risotto is made from arboreal rice. Okay, risotto is not a type of rice, but risotto is a cooking method. A lot of times, there's some confusion about that.
Risotto is a cooking method.
That risotto is a cooking method. So while I'm talking about this, I'm going to go ahead and start. I've got some diced shallots here, some shallots. Shallot. All right, we're going to throw in some shallots here. All right, I've got some fresh thyme here that I'm going to add in as well. And then here I've got probably, I'd say maybe about a half of a cup, 3/4 of a cup of rice. Okay, and I'm just going to toast this rice in the oil here. So I've got some cooking oil here.
Now, toasting your rice isn't specific to risotto, right? Like,
no, you can do that.
You can toast your rice for pilaf.
I
mean, just to add that kind of nutty flavor, kind of gets the.
It starts to heat up that
that
starch grain and stuff. And then just like always, I am going to add a little bit of salt here, and that salt kind of acts as an abrasive, so that way we start to break up that rice there. Okay, a little bit on the outside, so we pull out that starch. Now, again, risotto is a cooking method. Okay, we are using arboreal rice, which is a short grain rice, and it's very, very starchy. Okay, so the reason why we want that is because risotto is a dish where we constantly stir it, and as we stir it, we really pull out that starch of the rice, and we get this really creamy dish. Okay, and that's really what we're looking for, especially with these really meaty mushrooms, right? We want to be able to put a really hard sear on there. So we wanted to sear up that top, get a nice golden brown crust on there, and the texture of the arborio and the mushrooms goes very, very well together. Okay.
And that earthiness too, the earthiness and all those starches
and the richness. Yeah, because we're going to end up finishing this risotto with some butter and some Parmesan cheese as well. So, all right, there are some people who say you don't put butter, Parmesan into risotto. I say you do. I even say you put a little bit of cream in there. All right, but we're going to leave that out today. Okay, so
don't tell.
Yeah. All right. Everybody. So with this, I'm going to go ahead and add some white wine to this. Okay, now. If I were doing, now I have seen risottos before, Jimmy, where we do like a red wine risotto, and so we do several of the stages of the cooking process with red wine. Okay, now you notice I said several stages because we don't just add all of our liquid into risotto at one time, okay? We add it in stages, okay? That way we have our liquid, right? And the liquid is cooking, we have it nice and hot, and we're stirring, okay? And so we're pulling out that starch of that from that arborio rice, right? And so then
And you start out with the wine too, so that way you can cook off all the alcohol.
I mean, you cook off all the alcohol. Yeah, nobody wants that bitter, kind of sour flavor in your risotto, right?
Save that for your actual wine that you're drinking.
Yeah,
You
we
know,
definitely
a nice,
do not want that.
good, tasty wine. And you still want to use good wine when you cook, but
Yeah,
you don't necessarily want that in the flavor of the food. It can kind of overpower everything else and change the flavor, overall flavor profile.
yeah. Now, when we're cooking with arborio, and as we're cooking this risotto, right, we want that heat to be, to be constant, right? We don't want to cool down. Okay, let me back up a little bit. We're cooking in stages. So as one liquid evaporates, right, we're getting a liquid here that's evaporating, okay, we need to add another liquid. So we're going to add chicken stock here, okay? Now, we do not want to add cold chicken stock in our stages of cooking. We want our chicken stock to be hot. Now, I had this chicken stock here. I had it on our back burner over there. It was nice and hot. It's still nice and hot. So this is what I'm going to use, okay, to cook our risotto. Now, we just want like small amounts in here, right? Again, we do not want to overwhelm our rice with the liquid, because we won't, even if we stir the rice with all that liquid in there, we're still not going to get that creaminess from our risotto, okay? So we do this in small stages. Sometimes it's 3 stages, sometimes it's 4, sometimes I don't even keep track. It doesn't really matter. You just cook it until it's done, okay? So this is one thing about risotto, right, is that you have to constantly stir it, okay? So
it's a very active recipe.
it is a very active recipe.
It's like prep time, active cooking time, or
yeah, and by the time I'm done cooking risotto, sometimes I am exhausted and I am hungry, but I am sometimes too hungry to just, or excuse me, too tired to even eat. I don't want to, so, which is crazy. Are we ever too tired to eat? I don't know.
Well, yeah.
Could be, yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I don't like to eat too late at night.
No, it's not too late at night. Now, the utensil that I am using to stir risotto with is a wooden spoon, okay? We definitely do not want to use a metal spoon because even though we're using a steel pan, and if we were to use a steel spoon, right, we don't want to scrape our metal from either the spoon or the pan into our risotto. Additionally, we do not want to use the sharp edge of a metal spoon to really chop up our arborio. We want to use the softer rounded edges of the wooden spoon, okay, to stir our risotto with, okay, to stir our arborio with, and to gently pull out that
Sometimes
starch.
you need a soft round edge, and sometimes you need a wooden hammer.
You do need a wooden hammer. Speaking of a wooden hammer, what do you got, Jimmy?
All right, so I'm making a cocktail
here?
today. It's called a Man of War, and I'm going to do a little variation. I'm going to add some sweet vermouth to it too. But this is for making crushed ice. So we're going to take ice, we're going to put it in here, and make our cocktail, mix it up, shake it, pour it over the crushed ice, and have us a delicious kind of fall cocktail with some rye whiskey, an orange curacao, a dry orange curacao, a sweet vermouth, and a little bit of Amaro, and then a little squeeze of lemon. So, are you ready for me to make that cocktail, or are you still going over here?
No, I think I'm ready for you to go with it if you are ready.
All right, cool. Let's do it.
All right.
So, start with a shaker, and I always use a big shaker and a small shaker, and they fit nicely together. A lot of people will use a pint glass, which works, but sometimes if it gets stuck in there, and then when you go to break it against the table, you can actually crack the glass, and then you ruin your cocktail and run the chance of cutting your hand. We don't want that. So 2 different size, 1 big, 1 medium shaker, and you're good to go. So we're going to build this cocktail in the shaker over ice. And we start with a 2-ounce pour of your favorite rye and or bourbon. We're going to go with this Few rye whiskey.
Phew, thank goodness
Phew.
the whiskey's here.
All right, we got our 2-ounce measure here. Then we got a 1 ounce of the orange curacao, which is half of this guy. Right about there. Then we have a 1/2 ounce of sweet vermouth. So this is the Antica formula. This is a really delicious sweet vermouth. We're going to go with 1/2 ounce here. And I'm going to do a little Amaro just for fun. 1/2 ounce there. And a little squeeze of lemon. I already knocked out the seeds in here. There we go. So, put that in there. Shake it up.
Shake it up.
I'll let that set for a second, and we're gonna crush some ice. So we're gonna take a napkin, just a linen napkin. We're gonna dump some ice on here. Hey Steve, do you think we could like move that camera and point it over here? Or maybe? Alright, so we're gonna take this, grab all 4 corners with our ice in there. And then this is where you get to take out your aggressions.
Oh boy.
If you don't have a hammer like this, you can just kind of beat it. It's gonna take a little bit longer, but this is kind of fun. We'll get some nice, good crushed ice in here. Don't hit your hand. That might hurt. Actually, it will hurt.
It's like that guy on the guy from Wisconsin. He goes to get crushed ice out of his freezer. He goes, now what you want here is a really good hammer. And he goes into his freezer, pulls out the door, and just starts swacking the hammer out of the freezer door. That'd have been funny. Could have done that upstairs in the office suite. That'd have been fun.
All right, now we look at this crushed ice. Here, I'll bring it over. Nice crushed ice.
Woo! Crushing it.
All right. Now, we're going to go into the glass with our crushed ice. I'll set this aside. We're about ready here. See again, so when you shake it with the mixer in there, or the shaker in there, it gets a little stuck. You can kind of twist it to break it. You can kind of knock it like this. Give it a little twist, shake it back and forth, pull it out, and we're good to go. We got our strainer. I'm going to pour this over some crushed ice. And look at that beautiful drink. I'm going to take Jason's knife over here and just get a little bit of a lemon peel.
Uh-oh.
Should have done that earlier.
You're going dry over here.
And so anytime you're adding a lemon twist, you want to take it, and when you look at a lemon peel, there's little dimples in there, and they're almost like pores, and they're full of lemon oils, the essence of lemon, right? And so you want to hold it over your drink and squeeze it, and you'll actually, if you get in really close, you can actually see the oils like spray out of those pores, and then just drop it in there. And we're gonna give it a little taste. And that is delicious. How's your risotto?
It's coming along great. So that's called a Man of War, huh?
Yep.
That's excellent. So it's very close to a Manhattan. Is that what you said? Or
Close, but you got the
Close.
orange curacao.
Oh, you got okay.
Yeah,
okay.
so it's a little bit different.
Okay, I got you.
While you're doing that, I'll make another one.
It's like a Manhattan old-fashioned kind of thing. I mean,
Kind of,
the
yeah.
orange with the
Yeah.
orange with the liquor there. So, all right. So we've got this batch back here that's almost done. Now, here's something that I think is interesting, and I like to do, Jimmy. I don't know if you like to do it or not, but you know, whenever we're teaching our students something new and they've never learned it, right? This is the first time they're experiencing something. I like to tell them, taste your food as it cooks. Even
Absolutely.
though the rice is still going to be raw and crunchy, right? You still know that visually seeing it right now, you'll know what the texture is going to be.
Yeah.
Right?
And then next time you make it, you can use that intuition because you've seen it, you taste it, you're like, oh,
Yeah,
I know
and
that
that's-
it's not quite creamy enough or it hasn't absorbed enough. I can see it here. This is what it looks like.
Just because a recipe will tell you cook the risotto for 22 minutes, and you know it's not going to be perfect every single time. Okay, so we are So like, and then compared to like this one here is, this rice here is very, very crunchy. This one back over here is, it's almost done. I mean, we are minutes away here from this risotto being done. So,
All right, Jason, help me out here though. We have just the risotto so far, right?
yeah.
So where did the mushrooms come in?
So the
Is
mushrooms.
that what that other pan over there is for?
Yeah, and as soon as we get this other risotto that's on the burner here.
Here, you want to switch spots? Take that over
Oh,
there.
this one, okay. Yeah. So,
There you go.
there we go. So this one is just minutes away, but what I was going to do is, you know, like, as this one is cooking back over here and Jimmy is tending bar or mixing a drink here and stirring the risotto at the same time, I was going to go through kind of a proper demonstration on how to sear mushrooms. And searing mushrooms is definitely, you know, we definitely want some high heat on there, and we'll get to that here in just a second. But so yeah, let's.
Oh, here, I'll take that back if you want to do the mushroom demo.
Yeah, let me go ahead and do the mushroom demo here. So
I'll stay on it.
Okay,
I
so
got
I'm
you.
going to go ahead and do these little mushrooms here. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to sear these in butter first. Okay, and then just before they're done, I'll throw in a little bit more butter and season them up with salt and pepper. That way, that salt and pepper gets into the mushrooms there really, really nicely. Okay, so while the pan is heating up and our butter is melting, we have these cut here. So I'm just going to pull out some of these little wood ears here. All right, and we're just going to kind of break these up. We don't really want small mushrooms here with these. You know, we want a little bit. Want some bigger ones.
Yeah,
here.
you want to be able to see the mushrooms in there, right?
Yeah, we want to be able to have those mushrooms in there. And I'm going to take these tops that I cut off of these.
Unless you're making this for kids. If you're making this for
yeah.
kids and they don't like mushrooms, chop them up really fine, and then mix them in there, and they won't even know.
That's it. So we'll do these.
Maybe we'll do
as
that for
well.
Steve over there too.
Good, yeah. Steve doesn't eat mushrooms. Okay, so this is what one of those bigger mushrooms looks like. Steve, can we get a little side profile there? Am I in the shot there? Looks something like that, right? And then you cut this into pieces. And you've got this little, like, look, you know, this bigger scallop looking mushroom here. So these are pretty cool. Really like the texture of these. I'm just going to cut these guys up into rounds here. Okay. Okay. Our butter is getting hot here. Okay, now the secret to cooking mushrooms. Oh, my pan was turned down. I thought I turned it up. Secret to cooking mushrooms is to get your pan really, really hot. Okay. If your pan is not hot and you go to cook your shrooms, right? You're going to get a lot of liquid off of the mushrooms. I mean, mushrooms are a ton of liquid, right? So if we do it on low heat, again, we're not going to get a nice sear on there.
I mean, really kind of like proteins, right?
Yeah,
like we always say, get your pan
scallops,
hot.
like scallops and shrimp.
Yeah.
We want to sear them. We do not want to stew them. So anyway.
Yeah,
Okay.
or steam them. Like when you
Or
put them on there,
steam
same
them,
thing.
yeah.
They just release all that liquid and then it just steams.
All right. So
You want to
we'll
get
go
a
ahead
like
and-
nice caramelization real quick.
All right. So we want to get these guys in here, and this might be a little bit big on the pan here for what we have here, but that's okay. All right. So now we just want to get this nice little sear going on these guys. All right. And hopefully we'll get that there. All right. So Jimmy, how's our risotto doing back there?
Just about there. It's still just
about
got a
there.
little bite, but
Okay.
we're gonna add the mushrooms, let it cook a little bit longer too.
All right. So I'm going to just stir this one here really quick while our mushrooms are searing over there.
All right.
All right. So
Well,
now
here
we want
I'm stirring. Why don't you taste this?
Oh, very good. Thank you.
Tell me what you think.
Cheers, everyone.
Cheers.
Cheers, Jimmy. Oh, man. Wow. That is delicious.
That's good, isn't it?
That's a dangerous drink, but that is really, really good. That's good. Okay, check this out, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my gosh. We are really getting some good color on these things here.
I love the smell of the butter and the mushrooms as they sear.
Yeah, that's a beautiful, beautiful smell. And what we'll do too is we'll throw in some whole garlic and some whole thyme leaves as well, just to kind of flavor that up. So, all right, I'm gonna throw in a little bit more butter here. We need a little bit more fat in there. Okay. Thank you, Jimmy, for stirring that up there.
Get that butter all over the place.
All right.
Oh yeah, we're getting a nice caramelization on there. If you can see over here, nice brown caramelization.
Oh yeah.
Over here, right there. Is that good? There it is.
Oh yeah. Dude, the problem with our pan here, oh, there we go. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and flip all these now. Okay, so we're getting some really nice caramelization on the tops here. Okay. Oh my gosh, look at these. These look so good. Cannot wait to eat these things. Whew. Yeah, oh yeah, we're getting some nice, I should be using tongs, ladies and gentlemen, here with this.
All right, Jason, your risotto's ready to go.
Okay, risotto is ready. So, how we're going to finish that risotto is we're going to fold a little bit more butter into it. Okay, we're going to fold some Parmesan cheese into it. Oh, thank you.
I'll take these back here.
All right.
You want to work on that? You got it here.
Thank you very much. Okay, so now we have this nice creamy consistency. Jimmy, when we're done with that, let's go ahead and put them right here on this plate. We're going to sear up some more mushrooms here.
Sounds good.
Okay, so now we've got this really beautiful creamy risotto here, and this is no butter or Parmesan cheese added to it.
I know, yeah, look at that.
Oh.
Nice and creamy.
All right.
Great flavor.
We're going to taste a little bit. Mm-hmm. Oh, man. That is just wonderful. Texture on that. Very, very good. Woo.
Don't choke on risotto.
Not choking on risotto. Have to wash it down. Oh, my gosh. Jim, that is good stuff. Okay. You ready to go over here? All right, so that's what we've got there. Nice creamy texture to it, but we still have some individual grains, right? All right, so I'm going to add a little bit more chicken stock here.
Yep, thin it out just a little bit.
Just a little bit, just enough to accept my butter and Parmesan cheese in here. Okay, now we don't want to make this really, really cheesy with Parmesan, right? And the cool thing is you can do a lot of different cheeses in risotto. You can do Gruyere. You know, you could do goat cheese too if you wanted. You could definitely do some brie cheese, but just like that would have to be just as it's going out onto the plate or just right before you serve it. I mean, brie cheese is so soft. Okay, so I'm going to take a little nub of butter here. All right, I'm going to cut this up and I'm going to fold in our butter here. I'll just do the whole thing. Okay, so we put butter in here.
Here's your scallops, sir.
Thank you, Jimmy. Very, very, very much. And you know what? I forgot to do salt and pepper and garlic in there, but that's okay.
All right. You ready on the other mushrooms?
Sure. All right. So same principle here on these other mushrooms. Okay. All right, Jimmy. So while that's going,
go.
thank you very much. Woo-hoo. Jimmy's got the exchange going great here. All right. So throw in that. All right. Now we're going to throw in our hardest mushroom first here, which were the caps of the kind of the scallop pieces that we have, right? Okay. Just a tiny bit of salt, not too much there. Okay. All right. Now we want to turn these up. We don't want to burn our mushrooms, right? But we definitely want to sear them, just like we did with the little scallop mushrooms. Okay. So we'll let these sear up here a little bit.
Well, those sear. Here we go.
Okay, we're back and forth. Okay, So now our butter is melted, right? And we still have that creaminess to it. Now we're going to take a little bit of Parmesan cheese, put in some parm here. Okay, now we need to check the salt level of our Parmesan, okay, or of our risotto right now, because we're not, you know, Parmesan's a salty cheese, right? So we definitely do not want to over salt it if we put in Parmesan and then dump a bunch of salt into it. Okay, so, you know, oh my gosh.
So it's also important with
Steve,
your
give me a-
stock
Oh.
to make sure that this isn't salted. Like,
Salt, yeah.
don't use a store-bought salted stock. Use your own stock. Salt
Yeah.
it later. Because if you use too salty of a stock and it reduces and adds in here,
Yeah.
you get too much salt.
Too much salt, yep, definitely. So bouillon is not good if that's all you have or that's what you're left with.
Just make it
definitely
light.
water it down, like a 3-to-1 ratio. Okay, all right. So I'm going to add a little bit more Parmesan to this. I'm going to turn down my heat because at this point our risotto is done cooking. Okay, we just need to keep it warm while we finish it.
All right,
Okay.
I'll keep it warm back here. Your mushrooms are about ready to go.
Thank you. I'm going to throw in a
swap
little
you
bit
out
more
here.
butter here. I'm going to put in a little bit more salt as well. I'm going to put in some pepper here too. I like using black pepper, as you all know. There we go.
Now are you ready for the
using white.
smaller mushrooms?
Yeah, so now I'm going to go ahead and add some of my smaller, lighter mushrooms here. Okay. Oh my gosh, it's nice. It's that nutty smell there of the mushrooms. All right. We'll add in some more butter here. Okay, that butter caramelizes nice, or the milk, the fats in the butter and the milk fat in the butter kind of caramelizes nicely, coats those mushrooms and gives those mushrooms a beautiful flavor. Okay, we'll add those in. We'll go ahead and add our other mushrooms in here as well. We'll go ahead and add these guys in. Throw in some more butter. There we go. Make sure we get that. Now your mushrooms are definitely going to soak up. Oh, I need to turn up my heat here. Great thing about induction, you know, it heats up very, very quickly. So does gas, but I like these induction burners. But now, anyway, as I was saying, your mushrooms are going to soak up, you know, a lot of that butter, right? So we need
Yeah,
to,
it's weird. Like when you first go to cook them, you can fill that bottom of the pan with butter.
yeah,
They just suck it up,
they do.
and then they get that nice caramelization, and then after the caramelization, then they release a little bit of liquid, and then
Yeah.
that's when you start to season a little bit more, or if you're building a sauce, all that liquid will go into the risotto and really give it that full mushroom flavor throughout the whole thing.
Yeah, definitely. And you know, I used to work at a restaurant where we'd sear a bunch of mushrooms every day, and we would actually start out with oil first, and then we would kind of finish the mushrooms with butter. So that is
That's because
definitely.
your butter will brown, right?
Yeah, I
Like,
mean,
and
on that really high heat, you know, we were searing mushrooms like creminis and portobellos and button mushrooms or white mushrooms. You know, so we're really trying to get a big hard sear on them. But what we have going here, we can use butter. It's not, we're not really, we're
surprised
not
we're
putting a hard cook on these things here. So again, we definitely want to sear them, you know. And we're getting some really nice color on these mushrooms now. Beautiful
Nice.
color. Yeah, so I think what we'll do, Jimmy, is we'll take these, we'll fold some of these mushrooms into our risotto, we'll plate it, we'll flash these guys one last time there.
Yeah, flash them with a little extra butter.
A little
So
bit.
we want to get the sear on it, and then you let them sit for a little bit.
Yeah.
And then that residual heat will just kind of help evenly cook it, just like with proteins. You want to let them rest. But for this, we're going to get another quick little sear just to heat it up, get some good seasoning on there, get that good brown butter flavor in there, and then those will go
Oh,
on
yeah.
top of the risotto.
See, look at this.
Oh yeah, that's beautiful.
Get some really nice color here on there. Yeah, really great color on there. Okay. Usually when you cook mushrooms properly, when your heat is high enough, you can actually hear the mushrooms squeak against the hot pan. All right.
Yeah. Now there are some mushrooms that you actually slice and cook in a dry pan.
With no fat at all.
Yeah, king boletes or porcinis.
Okay.
You slice them up, start them in the pan with no fat at all, and it gets a caramelization real quick, and then it starts to release everything.
Huh.
And those are really squeaky.
Those are really very, very sweet. Yeah. Okay, so how is our mushroom.
That one's just about done. It's just waiting on the mushrooms.
Do you have any more lemon? Can I use the little squirt of that lemon in
Yeah,
there?
absolutely.
All right.
This isn't a throwdown this time. There's no competition.
Yeah, no competition there. But you know, I really like using lemon to finish things. It's kind of it's a classical finisher, just like
It just gives like nice brightness at
butter
the end.
or olive oil. So we'll squeeze in some lemon here. Oop. Fold that in. You know, at this point, we don't really want to beat up our risotto. You know, we really want to be gentle with it. Okay, we want to fold this in very nicely here. We want to be nice to our risotto here.
These mushrooms are looking good.
Yeah, mushrooms are looking really good. I'm about ready to pull these things off the heat. All right, I'm going to throw in some thyme here. A little garlic cloves.
We don't have any more time.
We don't have any. We're almost out of time, ladies and gentlemen. Some salt, black
Speaking of
pepper.
time, we're about to pull off a risotto in like 15, 20 minutes. Pretty good. Pretty good.
My gosh, that smells so good. The garlic and the thyme together. Now, black pepper and the mushrooms go together so well.
Mm-hmm.
Black
But
pepper.
thyme and mushrooms is one of my
thyme and
favorite
mushrooms?
things.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to check this, see if we need any more lemon or salt. I think we could use a little bit more salt in it there. All right, definitely a squirt of lemon here. Okay. Oh, it's got a half a lemon over here. Hiding the lemons from me. I'm not looking hard enough. Okay, so we'll squirt in our lemon. There we go. All right, so I'm going to turn off our mushrooms here. We have a very nice sear on them.
Yep.
Okay.
Just got that light essence from the
there any more of
thyme,
that
from the
stock?
garlic. Nope, I just poured it up.
No, poured it out. Okay, no
Oh.
problem.
You know, be really good.
Oh, vermouth.
A little sweet vermouth.
Oh, there we go.
So we're deglazing the pan.
tiny,
Just
tiny
a
bit. of
tiny
sweet.
bit.
There we go.
There we go. It'll add a little sweetness, a little depth.
Yeah, little tiny bit. Pan is off. Oh wow.
Sweet vermouth and mushrooms,
smells
or
so
sherry,
good.
sherry and mushrooms,
Mhm.
like an old rosso, or
tarragon. You
yeah.
add tarragon to it. Okay.
Yep.
So now, what we'll do here. All right, we're going to take our thyme out here. Right. Should we get the?
You're taking a
garlic?
time out?
I'm taking a time out.
It's only,
Time out.
it's only Friday.
Yeah, it's Friday afternoon. Taking a time out. All right, so we'll throw in a few. Actually, let's throw them all in.
Yeah, we'll toss that other risotto in later.
Okay. Then we want to showcase these beautiful mushrooms, so we don't want to beat up our mushrooms, right? Okay. We
Gotta
fold them
fluff
in
the risotto.
like so. All right.
Go back over there.
Check it out. Oh my
There
gosh,
it is.
nice and
See
creamy.
that steam coming up?
Okay, so now as you go to plate, as we plate our risotto, right? We don't want it to fall like a soup, right? We don't want it to stand up,
Well,
right?
yeah, it's like somewhere in between.
You know, it's somewhere in between. We want the risotto to kind of just go, I'm relaxed, right on our plate, okay?
Like us on a Friday afternoon.
Like us on a Friday afternoon. So we take our risotto here, just right down onto our plate.
While he's doing that, I'm doing what we said we were gonna do earlier, and flash these real quick.
A little bit of risotto there. Maybe one or two mushrooms here on top. We've got some of these beautiful oyster-like mushrooms coming up here pretty soon.
Scallop. I like
Okay,
scallops.
man, this is looking great back in here.
All right, quick flash. Season one side. Get the other
yeah.
side in. Season the other side just a touch.
We'll throw some thyme sprigs in there as well.
Yep. Just get
Right.
those essence.
We'll let it go for about 10 seconds here.
Well, let me do a flip.
Okay, once Jimmy gets all those flipped, I'm going to throw in our lemon juice and we'll be done. While he's
All right.
doing that, take another drink.
Like it refreshes that caramelization. It's a nice,
yeah.
crisp golden brown on there.
Mm-hmm. Lovely.
We are.
Okay.
And kind of let the butter float around in there. Get the thyme in here.
Oh yeah.
All right.
You ready?
Yep, hit it. There it is.
Bam.
Beautiful.
A little bit of, oh, don't need seeds
Lemon seed.
out. There we go. Okay. Get all these guys down in here in that beautiful butter. All right. Now we're going to we'll get this thing all plated up here. Woo. Like so. Oh man, totally, completely lovely.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Now, I'm not a big fan. Oh, don't need that one.
No, you're not a big fan. You're a human. Fans are
Yeah.
inanimate objects.
That joke really blew. Anyway, okay, so I'm just kidding.
All right.
Not a fan of that joke. So, thyme, you don't have to put fresh chopped thyme in there, right? You could definitely put some whole thyme leaves. I'm going to turn this off.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so we're going to throw a couple of whole thyme leaves on here. All right. And that will give us a nice little garnish, but it'll also give us some flavor as well. Okay. If I had some, like a really nice olive oil or something like that too, I'd probably drizzle a little bit of olive oil on top of there, like so. But there is our, kind of our scallop mushrooms.
Our
pan
scallop
seared.
mushroom risotto.
Scallops,
Or mushroom and
mushroom risotto.
scallops.
There you go. So, you want to do scallops and mushrooms, but you're a vegetarian. You know, we cook the risotto with chicken stock today. But
You could use a mushroom stock. You could use a veg stock.
definitely, mushroom stock would be excellent. Or you wanted to combine mushrooms and scallops into one dish. This is definitely something that you could that you could do, that you could use. These mushrooms are wonderful. You can even use king oyster mushrooms
Yeah, the
as
king
well.
oyster mushrooms from H Mart are amazing for.
They
You can almost make like a diver scallop, like a huge U10 diver scallop.
yeah, they're really
those.
big, and you only need like one for a plate this big. All right, but that right there, man, that looks lovely. I am about ready to dig into that. I cannot wait. In fact, I'm gonna grab a fork now. Steve, don't shut it off yet. Let's
Just wait, we have to watch him eat. Well, I guess we're watching us drink too.
give this a try here. See what this is all about. Steve, you want to come over and try mushrooms? You sure? All right. I want to try this out.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man. What I'm really wanting to try here.
That's delicious.
Wow.
Well done. Cheers.
Cheers, my man. Good job today. All right. Well, from Rogue Kitchen, ladies and gentlemen, that's what we've got today. As always, thank you so much for joining us. And with
Great
that,
weekend.
have a great weekend. Stay safe and stay
Stay
rowdy.
rowdy.
See ya.